Welcome to Search Talk Live with search engine optimization and marketing experts Robert O'Haver and Caleb McKelvin, powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies. This segment sponsored by TopVisor.com. Bring your keyword research to the next level. Visit TopVisor.com.
Welcome back to another episode of Search Talk Live. I'm your host, Robert O'Haver, with Caleb McKelvin. Caleb, how's it going?
Yo, what's going on, Robert?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, we got the applause back. I love it. I got my crew back.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, those of you just tuning in for the first time, I want to tell you a little bit about the show. Here we talk everything digital. Search engine optimization, search engine marketing, social media, content marketing. We cover the gambit on digital marketing. So you're welcome to ask any questions. You can on Twitter, you can hashtag Search Talk Live with your questions.
Yeah.
And we are monitoring that live.
Yep, we are checking it throughout the show.
Yeah.
So make sure you get your questions in.
Yeah, and you can listen to us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, which is a nationally broadcasted show in the U.S.
Yep.
You can get us on, like I said, iTunes, Sprecher, and many other places. But
SearchTalkLive.com.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to SearchTalkLive.com, listen to past episodes. We have some amazing guests so far. And I think going forward, we've got a ton of guests.
Yeah,
awesome
absolutely.
Guests
great guests in the past, a lot of great guests in the future.
Yeah.
We got an awesome guest today. Before we do get started, I would love to give my main man a shout out here. It is Robert's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. O'Haver.
Thank you.
Yeah, we won't ask you your age. Yeah. We don't ask you your age. We'll just say happy birthday. So, yeah. So, happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. The other things I wanted to mention is if you go to searchtalklive.com, I highly recommend that you sign up for our newsletter, simply because we give a lot of stuff away. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Mm-hmm. And also check out our sponsors, topvisor.com. If you go on our sponsor page, you can go click on them and set up a free account.
Yeah.
Which is awesome if you want to do some keyword research.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah. So let's tell them about our guest
today.
today.
Yeah. So today we have an awesome show. I'm super excited about it. Robert and I have been talking about this one for a long time. We have international SEO expert Aleyda Solis joining us all the way from Spain. Aleyda, how are you doing today?
Very good. Very happy to be here with you today. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We know it's late over there in Spain, and you got a super busy schedule, but we appreciate you joining us. To get things started, to kind of kick things off, I know a lot of our listeners kind of know who you are and what you do, but for those who don't, would you mind just taking a second to introduce yourself and what you're all about?
Yes, I'm an international SEO consultant. I have a boutique search consultancy. I provide mostly strategic analysis, recommendation, advice to companies, whether multinational companies with an multilingual and international type of settings and requirements, or also startups that are in competitive landscapes that need much more experienced type of advice and ongoing approach. And most of my clients, although I am in Spain, I am based in Madrid. I travel a lot, actually, and I am a firm believer of remote as a way of work and living, actually. And most of my clients are abroad, are across the US and Latin America and Europe mostly. So yes, this is I am actually a pretty active Twitter user, and I like to share a lot, and I really enjoy sharing with the community and speaking. So yes, I blog at Search Engine Land, for example, at Moz. I tweet a lot, and I speak also a lot at conferences, mostly because I love to interact with people. I love to share with the community, and I love my job in general. So I'm very passionate around anything regarding SEO.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, we hear that a lot from a lot of our previous guests have mentioned your name and quite a few times, saying, "Hey, you got to have this person on."
Yeah,
and they were real impressed.
Yeah,
with
I love the passion.
Right,
that's awesome. You don't get that too much in our industry. It doesn't seem like much passion, but I love your passion, Aleyda. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. Now I get this question asked to me quite a few times now. And I know we're just kind of diving right into it, but a lot of people ask me if they have a business that's international, that covers globally, and they want to kind of sell their wares to everyone, what is the best practices for that? Is it, do you create multiple websites in different languages? Do you create a site that has multiple language translation? How is it? What's the best practices for that?
The best practice first is to verify, validate by doing a research about the potential of your business and the most important international markets. Like verify where you are today for those international markets, where you have some sort of presence or from where you have been bought in the past. So by just verifying the online activity that your website already has, that might be a good start point. So, for example, if you notice that you have had in the past, let's say, some purchases from the UK, so it might be wise to start validating. Okay, what's their interest? What's their conversion rate? What is their utility? Do they search for the same type of services and start doing from there? If you identify that there's a good trend and the behavior has been good, maybe the volume is not good because you're not there yet, but the behavior has been good and the preference is good. Then you start doing a full research, like validating the search volume, the potential, which are your competitors there, because they are likely not necessarily the same than yours, the actual behavior of that audience, because maybe even if the language is the same, the way of searching might be different, the seasonality might be different, the terms that are used for the same products might be different, etc., etc. And once that you validate that, okay, there's enough potential, the competition is not really that high level that you are able to compete with that, and it will definitely compensate from an ROI perspective, the type of investment that it is required to have a web presence there, a real web presence, and operate there, taking into consideration that it's not only showing content or translating content or localizing content, but actually delivering the service or products, having someone to answer any question in the language that is a native speaker, etc., etc. So when you validate all that and you say, yes, it definitely compensates, then it is about what's the best way really to target the market. It is in a very granular approach, which is the ideal, targeting the countries with a specific CCTLD, with a country extension. Or if you don't have enough, or you don't have flexibility, or you don't have enough resources, or if you identify that the websites are competing there in the first positions that have the higher visibility, they are not necessarily CCTLDs, but Google is actually ranking .coms or generic domains that have geolocalized subdirect. Then you can do the same at the beginning. Just start testing the waters. Just start little by little without going full right at the beginning. Then the other approach sometimes is also targeting the international users not per country, but by language, because the business model sometimes of the websites, it doesn't make any sense to target countries. Like, for example, if you are in commerce, of course, the product's conditions might change per country, the currency, delivery details, etc., etc. However, for example, if you are a blog and you talk about technology, right? I mean, the news will be the same. The pieces will be the same. So in this case, then it makes more sense to target languages instead of countries. So yes, there are different layers of validation, you see, but at the end of the day, it's like in a lot of these activities, it's mostly like taking a lot of the typical validations that you do, marketing and operations activities that you do offline to the online word, really, and to the search word, really, to see if especially, the biggest issue that I see around this is that companies, they believe that it's just translating and that's it. And then they hire even, an automatic type of translation service. And they just translate the content that they already have in their original version, their original market, and they are disappointed because they don't gain the traction that they are expecting and the type of results. But it is because they are not really targeting in a way that it connects with the user audience and audience preference there. That is the most important thing for sure. And then, of course, that you don't try to target 10 countries or 20 countries at the same time. It's just starting.
Yeah, that would become a nightmare trying to manage all that.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
You know, the typical issue that potential clients come to me and they say, or a website owner, it's like, I have 20 languages and it is impossible for me to create original content for each one of them or localized content for each one of them. It's like, why did you build them in the first place if they are not profitable, right? It doesn't make any sense. So for me, that is a huge signal that there hasn't been a validation before, right? For sure.
And utilizing things like hreflang and all that stuff as well, right?
Indeed. So once when the logic is set and the correct organization and targeting is set based on the preference and the market characteristics that I mentioned before, then it's about what are the best practices of the implementation. Like, for example, if you are targeting many countries that speak the same language, hreflang is a must because sometimes the content will be very similar or the same almost. And if you are using subdirectories instead of ccTLDs, then Google may have a harder time to identify what is your actual international targeting. So it's very, very important then to implement hreflang annotations to see which is your country and language targets and be sure that the correct pages are shown in the relevant country and in the relevant language for sure. So yes, all the validations come after that, like also localizing everything, the URLs. Sure. You I mean, it's amazing how many URLs are left in English always. And to really geolocalize and connect the user experience, not only the content, but the user experience of your website to the relevant market for sure.
Yeah, and a word of advice, don't use Google to translate your content.
yes, that is not indexable. First, that is so important. That is not indexable to start with. You need actual translation, localization, and it's something important. Not only to go with a professional translator thinking that they are going to know just because they are professional translator, but actually make sure that these translators take into consideration the specific ways, the specific terms and keywords and phrases that are used by your target audience, because sometimes it's not about being grammatically correct, but because the ways that the user search might be very specific or very technical, especially if your service is very technical, it's very, very important. Like, for example, the other day, actually, there was this website that was translating a post that I had written in English originally to Spanish because they had just launched a Spanish version. And of course, I was able to validate that because my native language is Spanish. And then when I was checking the post, it was like a no. I mean, because of course there were many very technical SEO type of terms that you sometimes you don't even need to translate because for technical concepts like this in Spanish we use English terms. So you could tell, like, yes, I mean it's correct from a generic Spanish perspective, but it hasn't been translated by someone who knows SEO, and because of that, sometimes it didn't have any sense at some point. So it's very, very important that it's validated also from a contextual perspective, from someone who knows really the context, who really knows the industry too of the topic. Yeah,
very, very good information.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We got to take a break for our sponsor here real quick. Give me 1 second. Hi, Robert O'Haver here. As a veteran in the SEO industry for over 14 years, I know starting a successful SEO campaign always starts with keyword research. Get it right the first time or your campaign could be a complete failure. That's why I use TopVisor.com. With TopVisor.com's keyword cluster tool, this work can be done in minutes. The TopVisor.com keyword cluster tool is based on the top 10 search results, bringing you a top-notch keyword structure. The tool finds matching search results for different keywords. Then it groups them together. Now you're thinking like Google. TopVisor.com segments your keywords into relevant groups on autopilot without wasting tons of time. Don't take my word for it. Try it. Go to TopVisor.com/Search Talk Live. That's TopVisor.com/Search Talk Live. Or visit SearchTalkLive.com, click the sponsor page, click the TopVisor link to sign up for a free account today. Yeah, guys, please, if you love the show, help us out, support, go to our sponsors, sign up for that free account, check it out at least. Definitely a great tool to have in your toolbox there.
Yep, and make sure to check out the Robert Palmer family of companies, robertpalmercompanies.com as well.
Yes. All right, we are back.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, very cool. Sorry for that break. Well, I mean, is it the same approach? Say somebody they're really thinking about, they really don't have a foot in the international market yet, but that's a goal that they have. If somebody's wanting to do that, kind of what's your advice for them, or what should be their mindset and preparation to enter that international market?
Yeah, the preparation is mostly to be aware that they will need multilingual content support. So, for example, what we were talking about before. So that usually the problem is that once that they identify that they have enough potential in a specific market, then the problem is that they don't have someone who is reliable enough to translate the content or to create the content. So that is huge. That is so important. Also, even to discover the content opportunities or the terms, because of the lack of availability for someone who knows to develop a keyword research, for example. Mm-hmm. So that will be the first step. The first step is to make sure that you have someone reliable to do this type of initial research, and then to actually develop the content afterwards and to give you actual support afterwards. That's the most important, I would say, before deciding if CCTLD is a subdirectory is definitely the most basic one.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you as far as importance, because, let's say you take an English site, translated in English, translated to Arabic, there might be something there that offends someone or something, it could be anything.
Right.
Oh my God, you know what? I have a super funny, actually, like a little bit of a story that just happened to me about that.
Oh, yeah?
4 days ago, last weekend, I was searching for a good 360-degree camera.
Yep.
And there is one from Ricoh. Ricoh Theta is called. I actually don't know how you pronounce that in English, but in Spanish, believe me, it doesn't sound well, because Theta is like a slang for breast.
Oh, wow.
So yes, so when I started to research around which were the most popular 360 video cameras, and when I went to the store, we were at this mall, right? I just wanted to check them before buying online or whatever,
Yeah.
And I needed, but then I realized that they were not in the display, so I actually had to ask the person there, and there was this woman. I was like, oh my God, how should I say Ricoh Theta? Because Ricoh is delicious, and Theta is like the slang of press. So it really.
I wish I was there to listen to that conversation.
Oh my God, yes, but yes. So yes, you need to make sure that your brand and everything regarding your content and information and sounds well, connects well from a cultural perspective, not only language per se. Indeed,
I can imagine that conversation.
No, right? Yeah.
Oh God,
Indeed.
That is funny. Yeah, so very important.
Yep.
Yes.
I would write that owner and say, "Hey, you need to change your name." No.
Yeah, I tweeted about it when I was researching about it initially, and I never thought that I will actually came to the situation where I will need to ask about it, out loud, talking to someone, and how do I pronounce that it doesn't sound like the term in Spanish. Yeah. So it's difficult. It's weird. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, but get with me after the show. I do have some advice for you on 360 camera if you haven't got one yet.
Oh, nice. No, I didn't bought it. So I'm still like open to options for sure. If you have any tips, I'll be happy to hear.
Yeah, I did some shopping. I was going to do something for the show.
It's a pretty cool one too. Yeah. Very neat.
But anyway, let's get back to the show. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But all right. So, did you have some questions there?
I'm looking through. Nothing yet on international. We got some stuff on like mobile and some technical SEO.
Okay.
I don't know if you got anything.
Oh,
well, yeah. So, internet. We're moving on to kind of mobile. We got some questions on mobile. I know you're big into technical SEO. You talk a lot about mobile technology or mobile SEO and stuff like that. And so, one of the questions that we actually did get from a listener is there anything you can take from your desktop search visibility and that data and apply it to your mobile that's going to benefit you in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the market always. So that is why it is so important to validate. For example, I was one of my clients a couple of months ago. I was doing this analysis. He's in a B2B market.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a competitor of Tetra Pak. So they are like into big machinery type of business, right? Mm-hmm. And I am very used to the B2C, like online delivery where mobile is huge, or gym passes too in the UK where mobile is 60% of the market, and a lot of the searches are very from mobile devices are very particular, are very unique, are always with specific type of permutations or terms like service nearby or service near X location, things like that, right? And I was doing that validation for this B2B market, and it shocked me to see how still in this market for them mobile was less than 20% of the organic search traffic. And then when I was validating also not only the share but the differences between the queries and the type of content that one and another users requested from the different devices, they were the same. So for me, the most important thing always beyond like, okay, yes, mobile is huge, etc. There are certain statistics, whatever, is to always validate with your own data.
Sure.
Is to go and take a look and go granular. And this is the beauty of it. We can go granular even with Google Analytics or Google Search Console. And most of brand trackers nowadays, they provide granular data. SEMrush provide the query data provides for the Systrix, which is another tool also for search visibility, also provide data per device, the queries, the pages that are ranked.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. You cut out on us right when you said that.
Oh, sorry. So it's about validating the query data and the activity data for your own website and your competitors and your industry with all of these tools, not only your own tools like Google Analytics or Google Search Console, but for example, SEMrush or Systrix, they support different devices. So you are able to validate your queries, and not only your queries, the ones that your competitors are ranking with and your top players in your industry are ranking with per device. So you can validate not only what you have already, but the potential out there and what the main players in your industry are profiting from and are capitalizing from. And that can play a huge role for you into prioritizing your own actions for sure.
Yeah, and also you have to be really careful too, because if the site is not mobile friendly and because of Google's giving preference on the mobile search to mobile friendly websites, they may only have 20% because their site's not mobile friendly.
That's very important. I remember when I was a lot of people with the Mobilegeddon last year, right?
Right.
They expected huge losses, right? They were expecting to go really, really down, and then they realized their organic search traffic they haven't lost much really. And then a lot of people say, okay, but you were mobile friendly in the first place, because of course if you were already not capitalizing your mobile visibility and you were ranking only with desktop, well, maybe that's why you haven't lost much in the first place. So yes, at the end of the day, it's the understanding that if you're still not mobile friendly, what you see in your current search results and traffic and everything is just the starting point.
Sure.
It's really not the potential out there. And even if you're mobile friendly, maybe you have just gone responsive, right? And a lot of people they use responsive as a of mobile friendly, and I have seen so many configuration of responsive web designs where they're blocking the access, the access of the assets of the GS, CSS, etc., images, etc. So it is not actually mobile friendly because Google they are not able to understand and to access and to be able to understand that they are actually mobile friendly, or they're not doing the dynamic publishing, or they are not implementing their parallel mobile website well because they are not redirecting in a relevant way, and they're not including the tag. So having like a mobile user interface, I would say, or a mobile design equally means being mobile optimized. This is very, very important.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit it right on the head there. Like, a lot of people, they'll get they'll set up a WordPress site, and they know that the template is responsive, but they don't look at it. They don't the user experience. As far as the layout and how things are.
They just assume.
Yeah, they just assume that. Oh, okay, it's responsive. I'm good. But that could be a lot of problems with your site as far as conversion goes from a mobile aspect.
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, not anymore, but before, I remember when I audited even big websites. It's impressive. A lot of these mobile versions, they were not even in their own domain. They were provided by third parties.
Oh God!
Yes. So it was not pretty for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'd like to talk about is staying mobile and organic search, and that's accelerated mobile pages. I think we're seeing a little bit of transition into how those are showing up in search, how they're impacting organic search. Can you speak to kind of like maybe how they're impacting it now and what we can possibly see in the future? Is that going to expand here pretty soon, or what can we expect?
Oh yes, that is huge. That is when Google released the first and started to support accelerated mobile pages, and they actually pushed and from what I saw and actually heard from people in the industry for news websites, they actually supported a lot the implementations of them directly with the big media sites, right? And they were like really incentivized because this was the way that they were going to be shown in the news carousel. So otherwise they will lose this visibility.
Right.
However, and of course the impact has been huge for them. I have been implementing it and testing with a smallish blocks in certain industries, but supported by WordPress. So that makes somewhat the implementation rather straightforward because you have the plugins, the bridge plugin from Yoast, and also you have the official plugin from Automatic. So it doesn't make it still painful. However, what I have seen in the implementation is that if you don't have access, for example, to specific development support, sometimes you require to eliminate some calls to CSS or to GS that is not supported to be left in the AMP pages, and or for example, you still requesting some assets from a CDN that you have set. So that might be this type of settings that this can get even more complex, I will say, and it's curious because I was at this conference like a month ago here, and this person asked me about AMP pages, and this person told me something that really connected, because they say, okay, but at the end of the day, these pages are just like simpler versions of your already rich content, that the one that you have in your actual pages in your actual website, and this is just a replication of it in a deprecated way, in a simpler way, so it can be delivered faster. And the fact that it has even a canonical pointing to your actual web structure is like, okay, it's just, for me at that point, when that resonated, it felt like an add-on. So it's for me, it's huge, and is the impact that Google is actually, they announced today that they are going to start showing them in actual organic search results, not only the carousels, and it is obvious that not only news websites are going to be the ones who are going to benefit from this. For me, is wow, really, it's definitely going to be huge. But from an implementation standpoint, and from I don't know how to say this specifically, but how I don't know, maybe how good in terms of implementation it will be to have a parallel structure that is delivered there. It's not beautiful for sure.
Yeah.
It's very purist developers can cringe when they see like their design and their development will be replicated, things like that, Right. So it's maybe not the most cost-effective way to improve your experience, but I can definitely see how, for sure, it's more and more important to do it, and it has a huge potential. So, yeah, I think that there have been other type of functionalities in the past that Google have pushed for us to acquire and to implement, like, for example, structure markup in other ways, or even with authorship, right? That at the end they ended up not supporting anymore. But yeah, I had never seen HTTPS too, and I have never seen one that goes so fast as this one.
Yeah,
you know that. Gary was saying that they might be doing something with the authorship again. I'm not sure what or anything like that. But
well, if that happens again, then amazing. That for me, it was a pity because I invested a lot of time and effort on implementing this for some clients that I have in the news sector for in the technology space, and at some point it really benefited them. So it was a pity for sure.
Yeah.
And then also John Mueller today actually put out a thing saying Google's previewing AMP for all the search results, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually saw before the announcement. So yes, for me, it's like, oh my God, the potential is huge. Sadly, the implementation and the organization of it all might be not the most neat in the word, but yes, I think that it needs to be done for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, as far as I know, this was kind of initially created for the news industry. Are there going to be opportunities for other industries and other niches? Is this going to be something they can take advantage of as well?
Yeah, because first off, I think that at the end of the day, not only news websites publish news.
Yeah.
A lot of other type of businesses, they have communities, they have news sections or areas or blogs that might very well benefit from this, right? And now that they are saying that they are going to be delivering this type of results not only in news carousels, this opened a huge, opened that e-commerce websites and any type of website that app used to not be necessarily a priority in their implementations because there were other things that will move the needle faster and in a bigger way for them. But now that might be not necessarily the case. And so maybe this, for sure for my clients, certain clients that I have, this will be taken at a much higher priority than it was before, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, do you have any more international SEO questions?
No, monitoring the Twitter, but as far haven't got any just yet. So.
Yeah, no, I am too. Let's switch gears here a little bit. We were going to talk about client expectation. I think it's huge and a very important thing as a consultant and being in the SEO industry or really any industry.
Right.
Exact, but for the digital industry to be more specific. So let's. What do you think is important as setting up client expectations?
Yeah, in this particular case, I think I am very lucky. First, I am very lucky that I am not like the typical agency that has certain goals or objective or pressures to sell at a massive scale or
Right.
a certain volume, right? My unique selling proposition actually is working with certain type of clients that value and can understand the value of SEO, or if they still don't, they are open to be taught and to work in certain ways. In fact, I will say that most of my clients, they actually have their own online marketing team and their own SEO, in-house SEO,
Nice.
especially. So what I do is to actually support them and advise them and validate the strategy and provide like a fresh output from outside. So for this type of companies, for me, it's super valuable that they understand that first off, I cannot guarantee any type of specific results or
Yes.
rankings or anything like that, right? That is not about also obsessing over some specific metrics like links or specific rankings, or
Right.
because at the end of the day, these are just metrics or KPIs, but not the actual goal. The actual goal is to bring certain actual benefit from the traffic and conversions that are brought from organic search, and that is not only the ones that clicked directly from organic search result pages, but actually how the attribution works, how organic search support the overall customer journey. So for me, it's very important that this is understood for sure. It's funny because even sometimes with big companies, last week, for example, I was finishing the agreement with a new client that I am going to start collaborating for already signed. And it's funny because on some of I really specified this on the conditions of my agreements that I cannot guarantee, and then of course from a liability perspective I don't implement directly this in hands of the client. So I have a limitation there, and there's a limitation there, and the typical things, right? Like the lawyers come back and say, "Oh, my lawyer has brought that. Oh, if the liability and this and that," but they come from a very traditional mindset sometimes. So
Yeah.
even if my point of like my contact, my direct contact, the stakeholders of the project understand, sometimes the other people involved and the company as a whole, they are still like a little bit more old-minded. So of course, I had to clarify. We had to have a call clarifying, etc. But this is critical. This is for me. It's very critical to clarify all this. That they have the right expectations. That they understand, especially that is a long-term type of strategy or of approach. That if you want results right ahead, that maybe they should start better. With an ad, indeed, social ads, search ads, whatever, but not necessarily with SEO. But that with SEO is actually about investing in your own property. And like 99% of the time, what you implement, if you do it well, it will help you also with best practices of accessibility, of good findability, of giving the best customer and client and user experience too. So it's actually seeing it from good, building a good product, improving and investing on your own product and your own properties to be findable and to connect in a much better way with your user preferences and search behavior and maximize the opportunities there. So I the way I sell my product actually is like this, and it really pays off. And actually, this is what I mentioned before. The way I actually acquire clients, or the clients come to me, is because it's really organic. It's really inbound. They hear me speak. They are referred by other happy clients. They have seen a post that I have written, things like that. I don't actually go and pitch companies like that. So maybe I am lucky because of this. Because the way of the interaction is a little bit different because of this, right?
Sure.
But even if you are from an agency, even if you need to go and sell, the client and the company should see this as something beneficial that you are like clear enough and about the expectation and they should actually it's not just promising whatever, but actually be able to be aware of what is feasible and what is not with SEO.
Yeah. Would part of that come from actually educating them on the techniques and the results from that? Because, I mean, you got the consulting, but a lot of them don't understand necessarily the terminology or what certain techniques are, what result those are going to bring about. So does part of your time consist of actually educating them on SEO and the implementation?
Yes, you know what? In the cases of where the client already has their in-house SEO, usually they have done already that work, and they already know why it is important. They coordinate everything. What sometimes with product managers, these are like bigger type of companies, etc. So they understand the importance. But in other cases where this still new, or for example, with startups, is the best for me is always do a session after I do the recommendations. Doing this session with the stakeholders or the teams that are going to be implementing or involved in the project to make sure that they understand everything, but with the real example. So everything is as personalized and actionable in their case, so they really see the importance, and it's not talking about X website or Y industry, but their own industry, and that they see that, oh yes, this is really my competitor, and they are doing it like this, and I'm doing it like these other ways, like this, right? So that really pays off for sure. And be able to also support along the way. For me, it makes a huge difference. Even if they might be like in the other side of the world, like for example, like 3 hours ago, I was speaking with a client that he's in San Francisco and has also team in the Netherlands, and we are all like in different countries, right? But even like that, like the coordination is important. So I speak with them every week. I make sure to validate everything before it's launched in a stage environment, after it's launched live too. So this ongoing validation and communication is key.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
There should be a transparency there for sure.
Yeah, and you really have to, probably not because you're more on the consulting side where you kind of give them the advice and they do the work. But I would kind of like to add to what you said, like if you're a consultant or you're an SEO and you're going out and getting business and stuff like that you would want to. You really, when you set the expectations, you really want to. I mean, it could be you're not going there just to get them to rank. Like you said, user experience. Like what happens when they land on the page on the site? Are your conversions good, or because you can drive traffic all day long, but if your your site's not converting, there's a problem there.
Yeah, it's very funny that you mentioned this, because I remember this was already many years ago when I was still working in-house, because I worked for a variety of companies, agencies and companies too before. And I remember that my boss at the time, he was really obsessed to rank with this very generic term of the industry, of the whole industry, right? and I was like making this point all the time. Like, even if we rank number one, we were actually ranking number two. But even if we weren't ranked number one, like half of these people, they are likely not going to buy from us, because these are people looking for other things that we cannot provide. And they use this term just because that is their first start. That is their start point, right? For the search, it's not going to be the final one for sure. And his argument was like, oh yes, but of course, this give us this authority, like we are number one in our field. We are showing up. And I was like, yeah, but the website that is showing number one is actually showing number one because it's an EMD, right? They had the generic term in their domain. It was like in 2011 yet. So actually at that point, Google still gave some sort of higher weight to that, right? And I was like, yeah, but it's not because they are far more authoritative than us, but it's because of this. Whereas like, no, we need to go there. And I remember that we actually got there after there was this campaign that was done for Valentine's Day that was pushed a lot online, and I made sure to optimize the landing page well, and to make sure to link to certain, like to the homepage, to certain main categories, to pass some of the link popularity that was acquired there very naturally, very spontaneously, and from some huge important websites in the industry. And after that, we got it. We went to because a lot of people linked to us with a generic term, right? And we got there. And I made my point. I actually made my point because he actually got there. But he was happy anyway. He was like, "Oh yes, but we're number one," or whatever. Yeah.
But I'm not making
I
any
guess
money.
if he's happy, oh well.
But yes.
That's crazy.
But it didn't stick, though, right? I mean, eventually Google caught on that, hey, this is not as relevant as it should be, and
yeah, definitely. I saw that the reality was that he was happy but it was like this very vanity metrics, right?
Sure.
This was vanity 100%. But then he couldn't understand why it was much more important to really focus much more on improving. For example, that we got a lot of very specific queries, and we were targeting all these queries with very generic landing pages sometimes. So how important it was to really start segmenting much more the ways that we connected with these queries, and the specific personalized value and information that we provided if the user came with X or Y query, and personalize much more the experience in general of the website. So for sure, this really made a point of, it's not only about being there and ranking number one with these very generic, attractive terms because of volume, but if this really connects with the type of query that we need to target, and we need to provide a solution for our clients. Yeah, and
understanding the searcher intent and all that stuff goes into that. So
and the different moments, because it's not only transactional queries, but the research before and after buying. And if you really want to become an authority, it's not only ranking number one for the generic term of your industry, but coming up every time your clients search for anything about support, anything about information regarding this, or comparisons, or really. So it's about being there whenever your client needs your service.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And if they have questions.
Indeed.
You got another question?
Looking through, trying to find any.
People is shy.
People are shy.
They are, right?
Oh, you can go on Twitter. You can get your questions in on and just do hashtag Search Talk Live, and we'll get your questions in for Aleyda Solis. She's the international SEO expert. She's a technical SEO expert, strategic search SEO expert. So anything you have regarding that, please get your questions in. This is an excellent source for it, I promise you.
Now, I mean, the show's not over, but I do want it by any means. We got about another 7 minutes before we in the interview. But the one thing I wanted to ask you is, if people want to listen or hear your speech, or you're going to be at SMX, right, East?
Yeah, I am going to be. My next conference actually is Brighton SEO. So if people is in the UK, they can see me speak there. Brighton SEO, and then after that, I'm going to SEO Oktoberfest. The SEO Oktoberfest, yes, it's by invitation only. But yeah, if you're invited, I'm going to see you there.
We have not received our invitation yet.
Yeah, it's probably just got lost.
Yeah, it got lost in the mail.
There is always a chance to go to the barbecue.
Hey, I'm all about barbecue. That works.
And then SMX is indeed, and then I'm going to be at PopCon in Vegas too.
PopCon? Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah,
That's just next month, right?
Well, that is in October.
October,
PopCon.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so there's still time to plan it all.
Very cool. And then, are you going to be speaking on a specific topic, or?
Yeah, at PopCon I am going to be speaking. I have one session about actually managing international, multilingual content in international type of setting, indeed. And then also another one, a mobile clinic with many other people that we are going to be analyzing websites too. So I'm very looking forward to that. And then an SMX is going to be really cool because I'm going to have this solo session speaking about hreflang annotations and good implementations for them. And there are actually a lot of doubts for some reason regarding those generally. So it will be cool to really be able to dig deeper and be able to go through use cases and different scenarios and how to solve them and share the tools and actual ways to do it. So yeah.
Very cool. That one I might be at. I might be in SMX East.
Nice. Really looking forward to actually meet you in person there.
That would be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I mean, we meet so many people on the show. It's crazy. But okay, let's see. What else do you want to talk about, Caleb?
Let's see. I'm trying to look through here. One question we did get is, do you recommend any tools that you use for either technical SEO or international SEO?
Yes, actually, I really like onpage.org. They provide this very, very actionable and easy to use, already very segmented reports to validate the hreflang annotations, the implementation, and also the localization and multilingual content configuration. So that they are really, really good in general to do. It's a crawler to do audits, general audits, but they have really good, powerful, easy to use international reports too. And then also Botify. I really like that they have this URL explorer where you can really combine a lot of specific filters. Like, for example, tell me which pages that are canonicalized to error pages or are being redirected to pages that are no index or are actually showing errors or that have a language configuration that is different than the one of the original one. So this type of combinations is amazing. Nice. It's very powerful, yeah.
And what do you use for keyword research?
For keyword research, I use SEMrush and Systrix. Okay. SEMrush for me is amazing because they have the highest support of different countries, and then Systrix because they provide all the mobile segmentation for all of their markets, even that they support less markets, but yes, they support a few. And then there's also SimilarWeb for me. SimilarWeb from a much more traffic and competition perspective. When I am just validating the markets, their data, I have found that the most accurate one from third-party tools. So they're really nice. Actually, speaking about keyword research, I created a matrix 2 weeks ago or so, and I published it on my website and I share it in Twitter, and I will share it again after this so people can see it. Where I actually organize all of the most used and popular keyword tools based if they were given. They were supporting, for example, mobile, if they were supporting international, if they were given competition type of metrics too. So it's far easier for people to choose among them. Now that Google, unfortunately, is not providing as much granular data for terms specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. I rank number 1 for not provided. Just kidding.
Yes, indeed.
Seems like everybody is. Yeah. I'm just kidding. That's excellent. Yeah, I would like to see that. What is your website?
Oh, well, my website is aleydasolis.com. It's my own name and last name together.
That should be easy.
So, yes, this should be. The problem is that my first name is not that easy, so that makes it a little bit complex.
That's true.
Unfortunately, my parents, they when I was born, they didn't thought of internationalization. So.
Yeah.
You should buy the other domains and redirect them.
Yep.
Just, the misspellings.
It did.
All right, guys. I think that's the end of the show. I wanted to thank you so much for being on the show. It's been fantastic.
Absolutely. We really appreciate your time. We know it's late in Spain, but you really provided some excellent knowledge, so we thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I have enjoyed a lot and very looking forward to see you again soon in SMXs.
That would be awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guys, if you kind of missed any part of the show, maybe you got here late or anything like that, we'll be tweeting out the show, but you can also go once the show is over, in a couple of minutes, you can go to searchtalklive.com, check out our entire interview with Aleyda Solis, our international SEO expert, technical SEO expert. She is awesome, dropped a lot of knowledge today, some great content. We had a lot of questions, so a lot of good stuff. So make sure you go to searchtalklive.com and check this one out among the many other awesome interviews and awesome shows that we have had over the Showtime. Yeah,
and next week we have Gary Ellis. I pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, man.
But from Google. He is one of the webmaster trend analysts at Google. He'll be on the show.
Oh, nice. I was seeing now that I was checking Twitter that he retweeted the tweet that I sent before, that I published before about coming here. And now I understand he's going to be next week. He's awesome. So
yes.
I'm pretty sure that will be fun.
Yes, we are super pumped. Super pumped.
Yeah. So everybody tune in next week and catch that show.
Yep.
Like I said, we'll be sending out on all social media about this show we just did.
Yes.
And be sure to tune in next week. Go to searchtalklive.com, sign up for the newsletter.
Yes, absolutely.
That you can keep up to date on what's going on with us and different offers. Some of our guests give away books and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, man, we have some awesome offers. So very cool. Once again, happy birthday, Robert.
Thanks, buddy.
Man, I hope you have a great day. My baby girl also turned 1 month today. So I made it through 1 month. My wife and I, we haven't gone crazy quite yet.
Getting a little more sleep now.
We're sleep deprived, but we're getting a little more. But yes, happy 1 month to my little girl.
Yep. Be sure and check us out if you're in the United States, go to iHeartRadio. Check us out there. It's under the Palmer Radio Network. You can go to iTunes, so you can go to Sprecher. You can go to pretty much all the podcast stations. We're on it. I think that covers it. Yep. Guys, thank you for your support, and see you next week.
Have a good one.
Search Talk Live is a presentation of the Robert Palmer family of companies.
Hey, one thing I forgot to mention, guys, if you haven't checked out SEOvisor.com, please go check out our sponsor. Sign up for the free account. You should definitely check it out. It is a great tool, like I said, and support the show. Check it out. It's free. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, Robert O'Haver here. As a veteran in the SEO industry for over 14 years, I know starting a successful SEO campaign always starts with keyword research. Get it right the first time or your campaign could be a complete failure. That's why I use TopVisor.com. With TopVisor.com's keyword cluster tool, this work can be done in minutes. The TopVisor.com keyword cluster tool is based on the top 10 search results, bringing you a top-notch keyword structure. The tool finds matching search results for different keywords. Then it groups them together. Now you're thinking like Google. TopVisor.com segments your keywords into relevant groups on autopilot without wasting tons of time. Don't take my word for it. Try it. Go to TopVisor.com/Search Talk Live. That's TopVisor.com/Search Talk Live. Or visit SearchTalkLive.com, click the sponsor page, click the TopVisor link to sign up for a free account today.